I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I got the door. Move it. I'll tell you when you bring it in.
Yep. So, on this, on that vein, I don't know if you guys know about Charles Barkley, what he said.
Refresh my memory. I remember he was in the news like about 4 or 5 days ago, right?
Yeah. He has a show, and it's like a talk show, and he was on it as a co-host. And he said, "Man, when I see these black people with like MAGA hats or anything, I can't stand it. I get so mad. I'm gonna punch him in the face."
Oh, that's what it's about. So I saw this really big, muscly guy that was black with a MAGA hat, and he was like, "Yeah, come meet me outside," or something. I don't know. Something.
And then she's like, "Well, you don't really mean that." He goes, "Oh no, I do. I'm completely serious. When I see one, I'm gonna beat the shit out." And she's like, "Well, then you're gonna get arrested. And what are you gonna do then?" He goes, "I'm gonna pay the fine, and I'm gonna go get a drink. I'm gonna be happy." And it wasn't a joke. It wasn't funny. She kept trying to like, ha ha ha. He goes, no, stop that. Stop it. I'm serious. It was weird. It was a little creepy.
That goes more to our first half of the conversation of that group think. And if you try to break out of what group they want to put you in, you will be punished, you will be destroyed, you will be deplatformed, you will be demonetized. They will shut you down your bank accounts. They will, all the things.
No, Ted started watching this show, The Handmaid's Tale, today, and never watched it. It's been on for a while. It is not what I thought it was. It was it's quite good. I mean, I don't know what it's like now. It's been on for like 8 years, but first season, it's a dystopian future. It's like 1984, but from a female point of view and just like a little bit different.
And they're all sterile.
Oh, a lot of people are sterile, which, there's like Hell Comes to Frogtown. That's a classic. If you've ever seen that. It's such a bad movie, but it's good. But this, I got chills watching this because it's from a book, And so a lot of like narratization. A lot of talking, in her own head. And she said, nothing happens all at once. You can boil to death in a bathtub where the water gets, warm gradually. Eventually you'll boil to death. And then she said, we didn't rise up when they took away our freedoms in the name of protecting us from terrorists. Mm-hmm. We didn't rise up when they held on to those after we gave up those freedoms. We didn't. And she started listing stuff that's already happened in real life.
What's that famous quote about they came for the whoever, they came for the whoever, and
for you there's no one left.
And then when I didn't stand up when they came for me, there's no one.
We didn't rise up when they shot up Congress and killed them all. We didn't rise, and then it's like, but it was weird hearing that because it's like, well, they did that. Well, they did this. Well, they did that. And that was the next step, man. And it is scary because I mean that's the line we're going down. Period. Oh, yeah. That's the line we're going down. Period. I've said it 100 times. If Trump would have done what they accused him of, and this is Lisa tries to not do this now, but I've said this and it's true. If Trump would have said, "Hey, go down there, everybody."
But then Trump would have saved everybody, and no one would be thinking for themselves. We have to go through this. Exactly. This all has to be exposed.
They would have went down there, and they would have grabbed everyone, and they would have hung them, and they would have killed Congress.
Yeah, and there would be big statues of Trump everywhere, and we'd all be eating GMO corn. And
there would be no
eating our kids' McDonald's.
There would be so many things would be great, would be better, not great, better. But then it all leads to the same place, like we're talking about it first part of the show. Democracy always leads to tyranny. I think if we did that, if we give up to get what we want, if the ends justify the means, we lose ourselves and we lose the republic in the process.
Yes, we are so divided. Like, remember I was mentioning about even the foundation, the base layer of our Bill of Rights and the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is needed to protect the First Amendment.
Yeah, all the amendments.
That's our base layer, and we can't even agree on that. We are such a divided people. I don't know how you're going to unite that.
And we'll talk about the brainwashing, which we're talking about on your channel. The Second Amendment, you have staunch, hardcore, grab your guns advocates, and they're like, people shouldn't have guns. People shouldn't have guns. They need to take all their guns away. The guns are dangerous. No one needs a weapon of war. Maybe you don't even need to hunt anymore. Nobody needs a gun. Only the government should have guns. And then you just put the microphone in your face. Do you trust the government at all? Oh, absolutely not.
Right, no, exactly.
Absolutely not. They're terrible. You can't trust them at all. Then why? Why would you say, well, I don't know. You don't know because you're freaking programmed. You're programmed.
It's like the logical step. If we don't quickly figure out how to unite us and come to some kind of, here you go. You cannot compromise on the Second Amendment.
Yeah, it's true.
You cannot compromise on the First Amendment. Unless there's the compromise is a new amendment that alters or redefines those amendments. And if we don't agree with that base layer, that foundational principles that this country is founded on.
You said something, you can't compromise with the Second Amendment. And that our forefathers they were brilliant. I don't know if they were human. I'm starting to entertain thoughts that they were not from this place. Because they're just so much smarter than we are today. Definitely, I'm sure they're smarter than people back then. But I was talking to my son, and because Biden said this when he was talking about, taking away guns. He said, it's an amendment. Amendments are changed. Constitution, it's a living thing. You change it. I mean, amendments to take, you know, you ratify, you change them, you get rid of them. That's what happens.
But inalienable rights are not.
I said this.
Right.
I
They
said
come
that.
from God.
And there's one amendment. There is one amendment that it specifically was said shall not be infringed. No other amendment. No other amendment said you don't change this. Don't mess. That was the one. The only one.
Well, that one backs up our unalienable rights that are given by God, not by any government.
That one allows
to
people
protect yourself.
Yeah,
which
to protect
is,
yourself and protect your rights.
Right.
That's
And
the one that allows you to protect all the others.
And it ties back to the Declaration of Independence. So that's the link there. Where I guess I have an issue or problem with is I think of the founders in their hearts and minds, they were at a different place than the U.S. Constitution. Because remember, originally it was the Articles of Confederation. They were not at the U.S. Constitution. We first failed the first time around, where the states were nation states, but every state had its own currency, and there were problems with trade and dispute. And it was years later that we actually did the U.S. Constitution, and the Constitution was ratified by the states, and we became.
Was that in 1907?
What, 92, right?
I thought it was 1907. Is it not? Is it the 1880?
Which one? I'm talking about the original U.S. Constitution.
Okay, I'm talking about the when the states ratified again. So they're building the nation's tallest, or maybe it's the world's tallest building here in Oklahoma, which it looks very similar to a monolith. Not gonna deny that. But they already have like the Devon Tower, which is really high. So they're gonna change this into or add on to it and make it 1907 meters high or whatever.
Oh.
But it was 1907. And I remembered that being mentioned from Governor Stitt in Oklahoma, just mentioning, and me watching this video about how the government is given permission to spend money, and what there's this group that actually controls that. And it was ratified in the 1907 state's constitution. So I wondered if that was the time period that all of these states came together and ratified the Constitution state by state,
rather than 1791.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot more like the EU, the United States. That we're supposed to be different countries, but we're to come together in a lot of aspects. But most people don't talk about how gay marriage was always legal in the United States. It was in Vermont, and maybe I think one other state. But you could go there and get married. I don't know. There's also something I wanted to talk about. It was in the chat over in your channel. They were talking about why are we sending all this money to Ukraine? And the reason is because they're being overrun by hundreds of thousands of Russians. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands are coming into their country. And
I would argue we're sending money.
Yeah, that's why they're getting like $80 billion. For their border, to protect their border. Now, in the border bill, we're getting $20 billion for our border, which has had millions overrun.
But it goes back to corruption. The will of the people, the voice of the people, are not for that money going to Ukraine. The majority of us, from my understanding of different polls, the majority of us do not want that money to go to Ukraine.
Right.
And so the will of the people is broken. The corruption, that
the trust of
that
the people
is what is in power. The military-industrial complex, which add in the intelligence. That's what's controlling those levers of power.
Someone
and that's
actually
what's
called this week.
Not we. We're not telling our representative, send that money and send the money to the border.
Someone called me a conspiracy nut because I said that the military-industrial complex is controlling stuff. I'm like, are you serious? Are you still that lame that you can't see that? Right. That's nuts. When when BlackRock already has $500 billion contract to rebuild the country, and that's one of the reasons is people ask, why would they not? Why do we keep sabotaging peace? Why did we have Boris Yeltsin go in and stop that? Because the country is not messed up enough. We need much more damage so that we can make more money fixing it and send more money over there. And that woman, she said she said this quiet part out loud, because this is in the beginning, we're talking about sending all this money. She said it comes back to us in contracts. We're going to get it all back when we rebuild stuff. It's all laid out, man. It's nuts. But I think the fact that in our own border bill, we're giving $20 billion to our border defense, which have had millions of people crossing over it illegally, versus giving almost 4 or 5 times as much to a foreign nation to protect their border.
Right.
And have had hundreds of thousands of people coming over. It's insane. It's definitely insane. It is definitely not the will of the people.
I'm going to have to leave soon. I want to hear, what was this Brandon story you had to share?
Oh, the Brandon. Okay, so I've been talking about Brandon Herrera, who's running for Congress.
Oh, okay.
Back with the umbrella promise, and he has changed. There's one thing now that it's a litmus test for every politician. He says, I am a Constitution maximalist.
I love it.
To me, that's perfect. That covers it all, man. Are you a Constitution maximalist?
Mm-hmm.
Big Second Amendment guy. He's the AK guy. But he lost to Tony Gonzalez. Tony Gonzalez is a Republican for one of the biggest, for the whole border of Texas, basically. One of the biggest land masses in the United States. And he voted with Biden. He's Republican. And he voted not with to protect the border, not to protect Second Amendment rights. He voted for gun control. He voted for all this other stuff. So Brandon said, I'm going to run against him. We're going to primary him. And he is trying to say, like you said, if people of your party aren't doing what you're supposed to, people aren't voting the way that they should for your district or for you, we need to primary them. We don't let them say, hey, they're, the party that's their candidate. We need to run against them. We need to shake them up. We need to threaten them so that when they're up there, your voice is still in the back of their head.
Waters had some ideas what
Even
to do when you see them.
They're getting talked to by, lobbyists. You're in the back of their head going, someone's going to hit me. They're going to primary me. Is it worth this, 10 grand, 20 grand to take this?
Yeah.
But because he was an incumbent in Texas, if they don't get at least 50%, they don't win.
Right.
So he only got 45%.
Oh my gosh.
So there was 3 other people that ran. Brandon got the most, got like 30% or something. But he technically lost. He 55% voted for someone else. So now there's going to be a runoff, and Brandon's going to run against him. So that's going to be a big thing in May.
He's still got a fighting chance. He's going against an incumbent. He's got all that incumbent party money, the uniparty money.
Yeah.
So he's got a fighting chance. I wish I lived in his district.
Yeah, JB, that's actually his that's his slogan is let's
I love it.
on all the t-shirts and all that. Let's go, Brandon.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I think that is very cool, very awesome. I do want to get your take on something real quick. Let me see if I can pull this up and share it with sound. It is.
If not, send it to me and I'll.
It's about Trump, and I call Trump out when Trump does something very bad.
And then never mind. I can't help you.
Yeah, he has done something very, very bad. He has done something very bad. And what do you think about this? Because Rand Paul has called him out.
of the office of the President of the United States. I don't believe today, as I'm sitting here, that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee in 2024. Don't believe it. I don't think it's helpful for the President of the United States to attack the media. That's petty, and it's certainly below the stature of the office of the President of the United States. It's beneath the office in and of itself. Actions and activities unbecoming of the office of the President of the United States. I don't believe today, as I'm sitting here, that Donald.
So, you guys hear that?
Yes. Heard it.
Donald Trump has just endorsed him. The worst deep state candidate this cycle. So Rand Paul which Rand Paul, he's an angel.
I'll let I am go first because he needs to leave, but
yeah.
I have thoughts.
I don't know. It's fearful because it makes me think of Bolin, I don't know. I wish Trump would start talking about who his cabinet members would be, but maybe that would tip off the other side and not be a smart strategic move politically, as the votes go on. No, I do not care for this individual, or, I don't know what Trump's thinking is, why he would endorse someone like this. I have no idea. And I hope it's not, pre-telling what he might do as cabinet positions.
Mm-hmm.
My brothers keep telling me, no, trust him. He's already learned. He's going to surround himself with patriots and real people that want to put America first. And we got to trust him. We have to trust him. And
that's not his job, though. That's not what he's done in the past. Why would you expect him to do that in the future? He has exposed Fauci. He's exposed the Treasury lady, the Fed. He's exposing Gensler. He's exposing all of these things by leaving them in their positions and letting them do it all out in the open. And people are seeing what the corruption has been going on. I don't think we're going to even get there. The state of Oklahoma, Governor Stitt just selected a cabinet, and there's the AG is all freaking out about it, telling him he is not allowed to do that and whatever. I think we are going to be seeing some kind of national divorce, nation states. I don't know. Something is happening, and that's why he knows that's not his role. His role was to be the biggest asshole in the room, to get provoke people to show their Maxine Waters side, and he's done a great job, and he's woken a lot of people up and made a lot of Americans feel empowered that they can say, yeah, let's go Brandon, that's what I believe. But I'm a little opinion.
I think exposing stuff is just counterproductive. It beats people down because there is no one paying for anything. If you don't fix anything, you don't do anything. In the end, he just put those people in power, gave them authority, and gave them money. They did evil, and they walked away.
Our money's worth nothing more and more every day.
Okay, but they have more of it. And you want more, I want more, and we don't have it, and they do. But he put them in power. They got the money. They're exposed. Oh, well. You know who's exposed? The president's son. I know he's exposed. I saw his penis. But nothing happens. And if nothing happens, it's demoralizing to me and to a lot of people. They see what has happened. It's exposed. It's exposed not in a good way. Not like, oh, now they're going to pay. It's exposed like, yeah, now what are you going to do, peasant? Nothing.
Yeah, so what are we going to do?
Exactly.
Well, to both of your points, it's showing that centralized power and centralized control is not what we're supposed to be living under. That's not what a constitutional republic is. And the corruption in the system, it certainly is exposing that. You're right there, Lisa. So people are waking up. We have to do more. We have to do more as individuals. We got to turn our backs more and more on Washington and become more self-sufficient.
There's an opportunity coming up April 15th.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's one of them.
This is something that let me see if I bring this up real quick. I am shocked at what is in this bill. Shocked. Oops, I'm in the wrong place. Crap. Hold on.
I'm going to see your password.
Yeah, be careful.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to put it in. I'm just going to do this.
Okay.
Boom, boom. So Rand Paul's talking about what's in this bill. It is.
I didn't click on this today.
$1 million to a nonprofit in Minnesota to build a coffee shop for refugees. $500,000 for gardens in San Francisco. $1.2 million earmark for bike paths in Rhode Island. $4 million for a waterfront walkway in New Jersey. The Metropolitan Museum of Art is giving $1.75 million for the Environmental Justice Center in New York. $3.5 trillion for Detroit's Thanksgiving Parade Float Makers' new headquarters. $500,000 for a cybercrime vehicle for the Honolulu police. $290,000 for an air conditioner in the Charlestown Opera House in West Virginia. $1 million.
He said $3.5 trillion.
Right.
He's got to be wrong.
Right. That's a little mistake.
He said $9,000 for an air conditioner. I heard him say $200,000. That was like, oh, that's a very expensive air conditioner. But this I thought was hilarious. $500,000 for a cyber crime vehicle. Honolulu police. What do you need $500,000 for one vehicle for cyber crime? Wouldn't that money be better spent on like computers? It's the cyber crime.
Insane.
Yeah, that I thought was just
corruption.
Yeah, and
sad.
You know, I mean, I'm glad they used that picture of AOC wearing the Eat the Rich dress at the Met when they're giving him $1.5 million for environmental stuff or wing or whatever. That was just.
I'm gonna have to bail, folks. Thank you so much. I really
great to have you.
appreciate this. You two are remarkable. I like Truth Tuesdays here. So I've been on there whenever I can.
Yeah, we love having you.
Yeah, we do.
Likewise. And as I told Lisa pre-show, same for you, Sean, the two of you on World Blockchain Roundtable mean a lot to me because you have a different perspective. And Sean, you have this, I don't know, you're wired differently and your wisdom just shines when you have something to say, and I appreciate it. So,
thank you. That's very nice. We all talk over each other on World Blockchain Roundtable. That is one thing. You know what? We just give up now. Talk. I have at least. I'm like, okay, good. Now to watch him and Joe go at it's hilarious.
Right.
Because I just don't understand anything, and Joe's like, "You just let me talk." He goes, "Yeah, let you talk."
Yeah, it's hard not to. Joe gets really frustrated.
But I still want to talk to you folks privately about DIN Social. So I'm going to jump in. I've already jumped in pretty big, but I'm going to start pumping it a lot more too. So
okay, awesome.
We'll talk soon.
All right, take care.
Thank you so much, folks.
Yes,
appreciate you and everyone in chat. So thank you.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks.
Take care.
Great to see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, I think we're
a great guy.
Yeah, he is a cool guy. I'm glad he was talking and explaining the umbrella promise. That was good.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then the good and bad with the meritocracy thing, and on the if you look at that other link where he wrote the thing about the right and left wing of the bird and whatever, there was an idea there, which we should have him back on and talk about it some more. But there was an idea, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was called something direct democracy, because I'm like, with the technology that we have now, I understand, like, we used to, yes, have to have representatives because not everybody could go be at, wherever to have the discussions and have access to be able to cast their own vote or whatever. But now, we can all watch a whole hearing at wherever we are on our phone or our watch or whatever the things come up with now. And we should be able to cast our own vote directly. We don't need the third party and the, the electoral college and all that crap.
Do you know about all the crap with Hannah Barron?
No.
Okay.
I don't recognize the name.
Hannah Barron. She is a beautiful young lady, a very cool chick. She's a model. She's a YouTuber. She does videos. She's from Alabama. Noodling.
Yeah.
Their cat. She does that, but she's raised mainly by her dad. And she's a very, very southern chick. I watched her stuff. She's just a very kind of wholesome, funny, super sweet girl.
Good human.
Let me see if I can. I'll just get it. But this is massive drama that has happened. I was so confused by it. Really should sign. I have to do this on a different browser. It's the only way I can share it with sound. But okay, so this is what she put this out.
Hannah Barron 96. Good morning, y'all. After all the craziness on Twitter or X, I figured I would actually make an account. I could not use my original handle, Hannah Barron 96, like I have across all platforms because Twitter suspended my account. Still don't know why. I tried to get it back and they said no. So I made a new account that is Hannah Barron 96 with an underscore behind it. So Hannah Barron 96 underscore is my only Twitter account. There are some fake ones out there and they're not me. And they got a bunch of followers too, but they're not me. My only account on Twitter or X is Hannah Barron 96 underscore. So don't be fooled by the fake ones. Appreciate y'all.
So that's it.
Good morning, y'all.
That's it. She put that out, right? I saw that. I just typed in welcome, that's her doing noodling. She's classified as a tomboy. So this has sparked a massive, huge thing. There's been several news agencies talking about it. Crowder.
Who classified her as a tomboy?
That's the thing. Everyone's classified as a tomboy because she does this kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
So this is so funny. So then this, I forget who it is. Let me see if it didn't let me do it because I'm not.
She should be classified as a badass. That is impressive.
So, so she posted that thing. I'm on Twitter now, and then she posted this. Let me see if I can find this stupid thing. It's just a video of her. She's unrolling a 500-foot hose. Right? She's sweating, wearing shorts, and she's like, "Man, if you want to know how fun it is to unroll 500 feet of hose in the Alabama heat, it's not very fun, And then this model chick retweeted it and said, "American women are so gross. This should be illegal. Women shouldn't have to do any kind of manual labor. Her accent should be illegal." And then people were like, "Yeah, her accent should be illegal." And then American women are disgusting.
Well, let the haters
they're not.
You know who they are.
It's all these people who don't know what girls and women are. We're they're so unfeminine because they do manual stuff. Southern chicks usually. That's what they're talking about. So then there's the huge attack from the left. It's yeah, she's a terrible person. And I had no idea that this was even a thing. But they're attacking her for her, she
liking to fish, like her dad taught her.
Likes guns. She likes to fish. Yeah. And then she likes to do this kind of stuff. They said she's a tomboy, and then I forget what some new big person said that if you like tomboys, you're gay. But they spell it GEH, so they wouldn't get in trouble on Twitter. But they use it as it's just so mind-boggling how the left, who promotes this certain narrative,
promotes LBGD,
flip
whatever.
it yeah. Yeah, Jim, I love her accent too. I think it's cute. but I'm born in, up in the north. So, he might be, but he's putting up, he's doing a lot. He's doing a lot more than other states. He's standing up to the government, so I'm not going to complain. Plus, he's very hip on blockchain.
I'm excited for that to pass and see where they are. Do you have any updates on that? Do you know where that is, that bill for the digital currency, the gold and silver backed digital currency in Texas? There were announcements by the Fed saying today, or not today, I'm sorry, maybe it was over the weekend, saying that he will not create a CBDC, which is interesting to me because I know somebody who's on the committee to create one with the Fed. But I hope they don't.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I thought that stuff about Hannah was pretty just bizarre. It's very literally bizarre. And then I was watching Steven Crowder, and they were doing like a whole thing on her. I was like, this is dumb. This is horribly dumb. Brandon, his best friend is Donut Operator, and his girlfriend is Heather O, who is best friends with Hannah. So that's kind of the whole. They're all friends and do content stuff together. But that's about it for this week, I guess, that I wanted to kind of hit on. Let me go back to my.
There's a big drama with the. I forwarded it to the WBRT chat for us to talk about on Thursday for current events, because I think the Craig Wright case is supposed to wrap up, like they're doing all their closing arguments and stuff, and it either wraps Thursday or Friday. And that could be pretty significant as far as, what is the original Bitcoin. So it's interesting to see.
And then Riley Gaines started posting stuff.
I don't know who that is either.
You do. She's the one that's fighting for the swimmer. She's a swimmer.
Oh, yes, I do. The blonde.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's like posting a bunch of pictures of her hunting and stuff, and people are like, "What a tomboy! She's gross, gay."
I thought that is so bizarre to even use the same word that they say they protect.
Yeah, as a slur. As a slur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very odd.
Just shows how confused they are.
On how hypocritical, it is insane. All right.
So I'll see you on Thursday on WBRT.
Yes, check us out on World Blockchain Roundtable.
World Blockchain Roundtable on Dragon Chain. And you guys, please go join the Mighty Lair. Go to den.social, create an account. All you need is an email address, no other KYC or whatever. And you can join the Mighty Lair, and you can comment on I Am for I Am's post in there. And then I'll send you one lot to the Mighty Lair.
Sean, did you guys cover the boxer thing? I just type in too fast. The boxer that talked about being Bohemian, fucking.
That's another one of those things where it's like Area 51. It used to be a what?
Yeah, that's
what. Now everybody talks about it.
Kid Rock and Joe Rogan. We keep talking about how they're paid off by Bud Light. He was talking about Bud Light. The guy came out, head of Senator Bush came out in my house, and we're buddies. And they were talking about Bohemian Grove, and Kid Rock was talking about just all about how the whole function of it, and how he went. It's cool, and they have these like tree houses that you go to, and it's like a cool thing, and everybody likes to go there. It's just for elite, entertainers and stuff. They go there.
And they have satanic rituals where they kill people.
He was like, "What about the owl?" He goes, "Oh, I saw the fucking owl." Yeah, it's the Buc-ee's guy. Like, you know what I mean? You go take a picture with that in front of Buc-ee's, the Buc-ee statue. That's how I forget the evil name for it.
Moloch.
Yeah, Moloch. So that's he's like they didn't call it they call it the the owl statue. Yeah, that's yeah. But it's Area 51 is perfect. But it's the Area 51 of the elites. They talk about it, where they go, what they do. Yeah, he said Nixon said he liked it, but he didn't like the fag stuff. He said I didn't like the fag stuff. Let me share. Is it this that I want to share? I'm pretty sure it is. There we go. No. Yes, no. Stop screen share. I want to just talk about this for a second. Here we go. These are just some things I thought. This is funny. She's taking you to a gender affirming clinic and he wants to get a tattoo. No, it's too permanent. You'll regret it. Let's go get your beans cut off. Okay. So Sweden has enacted this a long time ago, but the UK has now banned puberty blockers for children.
Good.
And they're not going down that road. Matt Gaetz is there. He's doing a lot for that Brandon. That's Brandon. Tate, Andrew, and Christian were both arrested again yesterday. But it wasn't Romania that did it. The UK had them arrested in Romania because of a civil suit from 10 years ago that was pretty insane. So obviously they're talking about some shit that the UK does not like.
I was just hearing somebody discuss that, where like countries will have like, kind of I guess what they did with McAfee. They had Spain arrest him, or they have these other countries. Yeah, they tried to get many countries to arrest him, but he did evade a lot of them. But then they had Spain holding him, and so they were like, well, we can't let him out because it's Spain holding him. And Spain's like, well, we have to detain him because the U.S. told us to, so we can't let him out. But
it's so obvious that it's stupid. And no one says, oh, that's stupid. I called my friend that I've been friends with for 30 some years, who's a big lawyer, rock star, football star, Ducati racer, super, the most interesting man in the world. That's my friend. And huge lawyer in Spain. And I was like, hey man, I want you to do something for my friend. He's like, who? I said, John McAfee. I want you to look into his case and see if you get him out of jail. He's like, sure, man, no problem, man. No, you're my buddy. Like 2 days later, it's like, what the fuck do you think you're talking about, Sean? This is Spain. We're no third world country. Don't tell me to do. I mean, he flipped totally out. And
he must have got a call.
But yeah, it was weird. This woman, when I was I don't believe in reverse racism. I don't believe that black people or whoever can't be racist. I think racism is racism.
Period.
And that's all racist. And it's just, as it's wrong, it's wrong. It's not a color. It's not an ethnicity. It's an act. That's like saying, Jewish people can't commit genocide. No. It's an act. It's nothing to do with the past or anything else. So she is in charge of making the video game for Marvel, for Black Panther. And she was talking about how she doesn't hire any white people. She wants to create a safe environment. And just overall, not because the game's Black Panther, but her in general. So all the developers and everything on the game are all white.
There were a shit ton of Cartier commercials today, and they all had a Black Panther on them. That's interesting. I wonder what that's about.
Did you send me this, or because I thought you would be all over this? Sheriff Dar Leaf reveals that he's been investigating key players in the Michigan 2020 election, including Dominion CEO John Polis, Dominion employees and contractors, Joycelyn Benson, AG Dana Nethel, and others. My department's possession of sensitive documents that are part of an ongoing investigation involving Dominion employees These Dominion employees directed and tasks Siberian foreign nationals to remote access the Michigan election system. Lee said that said this in response to this subpoena. Did you sneeze?
No, I just banged my microphone. Sorry.
God bless you anyway.
But God bless me.
To this, in response to the subpoena that was sent to his office to hand over his law enforcement file. This obviously is an attempt to stop his investigation. Dark forces in control of Michigan must be panicking.
Aquarian Dunnapping was talking about that girl you were on before and said she's a paid plant.
Who?
That girl about the video game.
Oh, her?
Mm-hmm. Just the fact, okay, if she really was doing that, she wouldn't be talking about it. She would just do it quietly.
No, she wouldn't. This lives of TikTok, dude. The whole reason this exists.
No. Not libs of TikTok, but it would not have the girl saying it, right?
The whole reason libs of TikTok exists is because people are like this. That's how they get clout. That's how they get credibility, by saying, I do this. Love me. Give me more money.
Because I hate people.
I'm doing what my overlords want me to do. I'm getting that's why libs TikTok is around, because they don't do anything except repost what the libs post themselves.
Insane.
Yeah, so she's the head of the development team. I don't think she's a plant. I think this is the way it is. No, the USA we grew up in, USA we live in now.
Oh, did you see that they're outing Macron's wife as a dude? They're showing pictures when she was a little boy, and then there's like this whole. That's what I had sent you some of that stuff.
Haiti cannibal gang. They're eating people that they kill on the streets.
I heard about that. They call the guy barbecue or something like that.
Do you know how close Haiti is to our border?
The gang leader.
They can just come on over.
But they're taking out probably the bad guys. They're pulling out like
they're cannibals. They're the bad guys.
Who?
They're cannibals. They eat people. They're bad guys.
I don't know if they're really eating people, but I'm not there. I have no idea. They do call the one guy barbecue.
This guy.
Oh God, yes.
He's was found dead in his
car
for a legal interview linked to a case against Boeing.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Rhodes talks about this stuff all the time.
There's another guy they just found too.
He worked for all of them. He saw the corruption, and he went to different places. Like, who was it? Lockheed Martin was doing stuff that was killing soldiers, and he reported. He's like, "Hey, man, this shouldn't be done. We're killing soldiers." They're like, "Yeah, but it's an acceptable amount we're killing, so we're making money. Don't talk about it." So he's like, "Okay, I'm going to go work for the Army." So he went contracted for the Army, and then he was like, "Hey, these people, this is killing soldiers," and blah blah blah. And they're like, "Yeah, we know, but it's a good price, and it's an acceptable amount of soldiers killed. Don't talk about it. Shut up." So, sad. And is this racist? I guess.
I don't know.
It's funny. It's an Indian guy wearing a Caucasian shirt.
I'm not offended by it.
Yeah, it's funny, but I'm not like.
I think it's kind of funny. Is that what was he trying to be funny?
Yeah, it's funny because but there's like when black people call you cracker. It's like,
okay.
This is the video where she's talking like, I'm doing this at work and I'm laying this hose, and this is where they called her gross.
What's wrong with people?
So I guess that's about it. There's old Roger.
Who are you holding hands with in the background?
Oh, it's an anime. People are shaking.
Oh, I thought they were holding hands.
Oh, I did want to talk about the. So there's a bill now. California is going to give reparations to black people. Only black people, though, not other races that were slaves.
For what?
Slavery.
Oh,
so
I didn't know there were slaves, black slaves in California.
Exactly. That's Rob Schneider said that. He's from California. He's moved, but he said California is voting on a measure to give reparations to for slavery to people who were never slaves, charging people who never owned slaves in a state that didn't exist when there was slavery.
When they're talking about it. But we all know that we're all slaves right now through the US dollar. And so maybe it's just a way to get people to wake up once again and go, wait a minute. Oh, well, we're all slaves. We would all need to be made whole if we were standing in equity.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you have to think a little further down the road.
How weird would it be if Trudeau, Macron, and Obama were all married to trannies? Like, how could you not say there's some kind of concerted effort there? Just saying. I'm not saying, just if there was.
It's a club.
Yeah, that's. And then how can you not like connect it all to Epstein and just the weirdness of it all? It's like not a crazy conspiracy theory. It's just a. And you know what all police detectives are? Detectives are conspiracy theorists. A conspiracy is just two people, like, you know, it's an actual crime. You can be charged with conspiracy. So, but it's just two people coming together, commiserating, cavorting, whatever, to come together to commit a crime. That's what they're investigating. So all police detectives are conspiracy theorists. It's like their job.
It sounds like they're good critical thinkers then.
Exactly. That's what they need to be. All right. Well, I'm going to end it here.
All right. I'll see you all on Thursday.
Yes. Check us out on Thursday. Lisa streams it. I might stream it. If not, just go to Lisa's channel or go to Dragon Chain.
Dragon Chain. Yeah.
Love y'all. And we'll see you Thursday. If not, back here Tuesday.
Because the goal is not to completely subjugate Afghanistan. The goal is to use Afghanistan to wash money out of the tax bases of the United States, out of the tax bases of European countries, through Afghanistan, and back into the hands of a transnational security elite. That is the goal, i.e. the goal